Okay, well, welcome everyone. I'm so excited to have you here this morning, and hopefully, we can get everyone just relaxed and ready to kind of tackle your Saturday here. So, we're actually going to get started on our back, and I want you to grab your bolster, the bigger bolster. You can use the smaller one if you want to, also. But what we're going to do is just lay flat on our back and put our legs up over this bolster. So, this is a pretty simple, this is probably my favorite way to be in Savasana most of the time. But we're just gonna kind of come down onto our back, let ourselves be flat. If you want to bring in that pink bolster, you can tuck it under your neck or roll up your blanket under your neck. But we're just letting ourselves be right here. And the position of our legs in this posture also helps our low back to release a little bit. We have that natural curvature in our spine right there, and this just allows our hips to tilt just so that we can relax that. So as you're settling in here, just give yourself a few minutes to come into the room. We're going to release anything that's outside that door. I promise it will still be there, but we don't need to worry about it for our next little bit here together. I want you to ask yourself the honest question, how am I doing? And whatever the answer is to that question, we're not giving it any judgment. We're not bringing in anything negative regarding it. We're just observing, almost like you're reading someone's diagnosis that's not your own, just whatever it is. We don't get mad at a car engine when it has well, we might, but a check engine light, we don't give that engine is evil or doing something wrong. It just is. Now, as we settle in here a little bit further, we're just kind of noticing our breath. We're not changing anything about it, just noticing where it goes. And I want you to start at your toes and imagine that just a gentle wave of relaxation is washing over every part of your body, moving slowly, working its way up. Seeing if you can relax something just a tiny micrometer more. And we're going to come back to notice our breath once again. We're going to gradually, very gradually, start to increase our inhales and letting our exhales be a little bit more complete, getting some of that stale air out of our lungs. It doesn't matter how we were breathing before we came into the room, we're only focusing on our breath at this moment right now. Let's go ahead and take a deep cleansing breath together. We're going to inhale in through our nose, taking our fullest, deepest breath. This may be the deepest breath that you've taken yet this morning. And then let's release with a sigh through our mouth. Feeling your body relax as that exhale happens. Let's take that one more time. Inhaling deeply in through our nose. We're puffing out our chest as full as we possibly can. And release. Let your breathing just return back to a restful cadence for you, whatever that means. And if your mind wanders while we're here, which it might because we're all human, just bring your attention back to that breath. And you can count your breath, whatever allows you to come back into the room. Let's bring our mind back into our body and take about 5 more breaths right here where we are. Ready, we're going to move really slowly as we move between our shapes this morning. So how I like to come out of this, and you can kind of do something else if it feels better for you, but I like to bring the soles of my feet up on top of that bolster, so my knees will be pointed up towards the ceiling. That seems like one little movement I can make here to let my legs kind of get back where they were going. And then from here, I'm just going to kind of roll onto my side and draw my knees up. And you may want to kick your bolster out of the way. But we're going to pause here on our side for just a moment. I just don't want you to give yourself the whirlies as you come up out of being flat. And then when you're ready, we will just gently press ourselves up to a comfortable seat. I want to have us take just a moment wherever you are. Just make sure your legs are comfortable here. We're just going to let our neck stretch slightly here this morning. So we're going to start, we're going to have our facing forward, our chin is parallel to the floor, and it doesn't matter what your hands are doing here, but you may kind of use them to guide you as we go. But we're just going to take our chin, keeping it parallel to the floor, and turn and peek over that right shoulder. So for you, that may just be a little like 15 degrees from center, but you may be able to peek all the way around. Just depends on your neck and what mobility you have there. start to come back around to center, but we're gonna let that left ear float down towards that left shoulder. So we're not scrunching our shoulder up, just kind of let it fall over. So we twisted the left side of our neck, now we're stretching the right. Remembering to breathe here. And then go ahead and bring your head back up through center. That chin is back parallel with the floor, and this time we're going to look over that left shoulder. And depending on your body, you may have different mobility on each side. That's okay. We're keeping everything but our neck and head square towards the front, just giving that right side a little bit of a twist here. And then same thing here. Let's start to bring that back towards center, but we're going to let that right ear fall over to the right shoulder. And again, not scrunching up our shoulder, just letting everything pull down together. Go ahead and release and bring our head back up through center. We'll just let our head be where it wants to be here. We're going to set up for a really gentle twist this morning. So what we are going to do here is we're going to bring, and it doesn't matter which side, and it doesn't matter which hip either. So we're going to bring the bolster going the same direction as our mat. And then we're just going to bring one of our hips to the edge of that bolster. Your legs are just going to be comfortable. So if it is more comfortable for you to put the blanket or a block in between your knees, feel free to do that. And then what we're going to do is just let our torso twist as straight as possible over that bolster. And then we're just going to let ourselves relax down. So a couple of modifications you can make here. One is to bring a block or two underneath that bolster. It just brings the floor up a little closer to you. But listen to your low back and your kind of belly area in this twist. We want to be able to feel the sensation, obviously, of twisting, but we also want to be able to find some rest with this. And you can let your neck and head relax however you want to. If you're looking towards your knees, it's a little less intense. If you want to double twist it, you can look away from your knees. Sometimes that feels great, and sometimes it feels really awful. So you just have to kind of decide. And then we're just going to let ourselves relax down onto this bolster. We're going to be here for several minutes. So if after about 5 breaths you're not finding that stillness, I want you to adjust something. about 5 more breaths here before we move. So again, moving very slowly as we come out of this, we're just going to gently press our torso up and off of that bolster. Moving very, very slowly. And then I love to come onto hands and knees from here, just kind of over your bolster. And we're just going to take a couple of cat-cow stretches here. So dropping our belly, rounding our spine with our breath, and you can hold one direction or the other if it feels really good. I also love to kind of feel my body at this point in time. One side feels nice and stretched, and the other side's kind of like, hey, what's going on? It's you. And then when you feel ready, we're going to take that same stretch on the opposite side. So the other hip is going to come down to the end of that bolster. Again, make your knees and legs comfortable here. We're twisting as flat as we can to lay down onto that bolster. And you may want something different here than you wanted on the other side. That's okay. Again, the option to kind of bring that bolster up closer to you. You can double twist. Just look towards your knees. But again, allow yourself that little bit of time to settle in here. And I did not mention, but twists are amazing this time of year. We have a lot of immune health in our bellies, and this just kind of jump starts everything. If we have food particles stuck in our intestines, it just kind of shakes everything up in a good way. start to deepen our breath a little. We'll take our last few breaths here on this side. Let's go ahead and again, slowly we'll press ourselves up off of that bolster. If you want to come on to hands and knees again, one last wiggle of our spine here just to get everything back to center. Take a few cat-cows if that feels good. Alrighty, so we are going to leave our bolster actually right where it is, but you will need your block. So what we're going to do is come into a reclined cobbler pose with this bolster. So I'm going to kind of show you where we're going, and then I'll help you kind of build yourself in to get there. So we're going to lay our spine completely flat. So bringing that tailbone right to the edge of that bolster and laying flat. But what we're going to do with our feet is we're going to open our knees like a book and bring the soles of our feet together. And we have our blocks here, so I want you to, and you can use the tallest setting, the medium setting, or the flattest setting, and support your legs wherever it feels good. So if you really don't want a lot of opening here, go on the tallest setting. And if you're feeling a little bit more, you can kind of adjust it for yourself. The closer you have your feet to your body, the more intense the stretch is going to be on your inner thigh. So just kind of find, even if it's barely feet together, way down at the bottom of your mat, that's okay. But just kind of find your sweet spot with this. Does not really matter what your arms are doing here. We have a big chest opener over this bolster. So your arms can float down to the mat. They can rest on your body. And as we're settling into this, I want you to focus on the sensation of the soles of your feet together. So maybe you can feel warmth from one to the other. Just noticing that sensation. And this is a place that I'll have you check in with your face. See if you have any tension there. See if you can release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your jaw. And this is also an excellent place for us to check in with our breath. We have a big open heart, open chest. Everything can breathe freely. posture. So if you have your blocks on a really tall setting, you may want to try to turn them and see if your muscles have relaxed enough to open up a little bit more. You do not have to do that, but I think it's just really interesting sometimes how much our muscles relax. You can also remove the blocks completely if that feels good, but I want you to feel supported wherever you are here. Let's come back into our bodies here and take just a few more breaths. When you feel ready to move, we're going to come out of this in a little bit of a stage situation. So we'll remove our blocks, but we're also going to bring the soles of our feet to the mat at the same time. So our knees are pointed up towards the ceiling. You can just set your blocks aside. And if it feels good to take just a couple windshield wipers with your knees here. Kind of sending everything the opposite direction from when we just stretched it. And then, so we're eventually going to make our way up to seated from here. So I'm going to give you kind of yogi's choice. You can roll off of the mat onto your side, or off of the bolster, excuse me, onto your side and just pause here. Or if you'd rather just press yourself up very gently from the bolster, you can do that as well. Does not matter, but I will meet you in a comfortable seat for just a second. And our bolster is apparently just going to stay right where it is the whole class today, but I know I do it every class. It's my very favorite, so we're going to do it today. We're going to do a supported child's pose right here. So we're going to leave that bolster where it is. It's going to be the support for our entire torso. So I'll kind of talk you through how I like to get into it. If you know where you're going, please go ahead and feel free to go there. So I like to take my knees wide here in this supported child's pose. And then we're just gonna let ourselves fall forward and be completely supported by this bolster. And I will give you the halfway through if you wanna rest on one cheek so that you can switch. If this is really hard on your knees, you can bring the blanket or the pink bolster underneath your knees. You can also bring the blanket or the pink bolster underneath the backs of your knees. It kind of lifts your rear a little bit, takes some of the pressure off of our knees that way. You can also bring things underneath the bolster to bring that floor a little bit closer to you. So just find where you can have some absolute rest here. Does not matter where your arms are in this supported child's pose. If it feels good to kind of tuck your elbows along the sides, you can have them hugging the bolster. You can even even send your hands back by your feet if that feels good to kind of relax your shoulders. The world is your oyster when it comes to the supported child's pose. About halfway through, so if you're resting on one cheek and you want to twist to the other side so that your neck feels even, please feel free. You're also welcome to stay right where you are. Tell you that we are ready to move into our Savasana, our final resting pose. So you are very welcome to stay here in supported child's pose if that's feeling really good for you. If you would like to move somewhere else, you are more than welcome to do that also. You have all of the props to use however you would like to. And if you're moving, go ahead and just press yourself up off of that bolster slowly. And then make your way to wherever you're going. You can lay flat on your back. You can come back into that place we started with your knees up over the bolster. And I am going to grab, I have some warm salt hearts for you this morning. So they feel really great just on your belly or your heart center. Just hold on to them. The salt's really good for respiratory stuff, so this might be a good thing to have with your, just to breathe in a little bit. And they are not just let yourself relax down for the last few minutes of class. This can be the hardest part because we are ready to jump into the day and all the other things that we have going on. But give yourself a few moments. And I'm going to do a little reading for us here. You're welcome to tune me out. So this is called It's the Little Things by Alyssa Waghorn. The first cup of coffee in the morning. The warmth of the sun as it soaks into your skin. The kindness of a stranger. The laughter of a friend. The leaves falling. The birds chirping. The ocean crashing. The lone wildflower blooming in a sea of concrete. The billions of stars that pepper the sky at night. The bunny-shaped clouds swiftly floating by. The moon shining no matter what phase she's in. The music that seeps into your soul. The books you can't put down. The days that feel too good to be true, and the nights you pray will last forever. It's the little things. The sun peeking through the blinds mid-Sunday morning. The fragrances that teleport you to distant memories. The wind in your hair, the sand beneath your feet. Laughing so hard it hurts. The art that makes you feel something that you can't put into words. The poetry that tugs at your heartstrings. Singing off key in the shower. Freshly made bread. Butterflies in your stomach when you see them smile. The realization that everything is possible. That your dreams were planted in your heart for a reason. That the little things have always been the big things, and materialism will never outweigh the magic we find in moments. gently begin to wake yourself up. We're going to start by taking a little bit deeper inhale, just allowing your thoughts to come back into the room. And we'll start to wake up our physical body, just starting with gentle wiggles, maybe fingers and toes to start with, moving into our wrists and ankles. And then when your bigger muscles feel ready, you can just take stretches or little squirms, whatever feels best for you. And before we come up off of our props, I know everybody's in a little bit different spot. We're just going to take a split second to give ourselves some gratitude for being here this morning. Taking some time for yourself. You just did a great job deregulating your nervous system a little bit. You took the equivalent of a 2-hour nap, which is wonderful. And so when you're ready, we'll slowly make our way up to a comfortable seat. And if you need to come onto your side or come up in increments or very slowly, feel free to do that. Just take any stretches that your body is calling for as we come up. I should have said, but be careful of the salt heart. Don't conk yourself with it, depending on where it is. All right, let's close our practice together this morning. We'll sit comfortably with a tall spine. Let's take a deep inhale, and as we do, we're gonna bring our arms up and overhead. Our palms come together at the top. And if you'd like to join me, bringing your thumbs down to your third eye, honoring the sky above. Thumbs down to your belly, honoring the earth below. And ending with our thumbs at heart center, honoring the peace within. Thank you all so much for being here this morning. Namaste.
Namaste.
All right, well, I am sorry I had to wake you all up while we're not moving a muscle. So. Oh, goodness. Oh, yes, thank you all for being here this morning. I needed that just as much as you all probably did. Video stayed the whole time.